What's up, everybody? This is Russell Tracy, and today I'm going to be starting a series on Lightroom. I've had a lot of questions and comments and people asking me things about Lightroom, how I use it, how I integrate it into my workflow, and I'm going to be doing several videos on how I use Lightroom. Now, I have done some videos in the past, and during this series I will be referencing those videos. So anytime that I reference one of those previous videos, I'll link it in the description so you can check that video out as well. The first topic that I'm going to be talking about today is organization. You have to be able to stay organized. You need to be able to find your photos, so if a client needs them, you can find them years down the road. Now, over here on the left-hand side, I have every photo that I've ever taken in Lightroom. I did this by synchronizing all my photos into Lightroom. I do have a video on this. The link will be in the description below. The first step would be to synchronize all your photos into Lightroom. Now, before you synchronize, there's two things that you really want to do. The first thing is you want to get a good naming scheme for your files, and you want to get a good folder hierarchy. And what I mean by that is how you have your folders organized. So if you look over here on the left-hand side, I have a folder for each year. Inside that folder for the year, so I have 2018 photography, I have different genres. So I have marketing, modeling, other, sports, and Virginia Pilot. Every time there's a new genre, so if I shoot nature, I will add a nature category. I'll add a nature folder. Inside the folders, I would have, in the case of sports, I have subfolders for high school, NCAA Pro Youth, and then more subfolders in there. So I break everything down so it's organized. It's very organized. Now, where it gets into the specific events that I shoot, so in this case, this was a baseball game, I name my folders. They start year, month, day, and then whatever the event was. So for sports, it's year, month, day, and then the teams that play. For modeling, it's year, month, day, whoever the client was. It always starts year, month, day. With the actual photos, the file names for the photos, I start those year, month, day as well. This year, month, day will match the year, month, day on the folder. Now, the rest of the file name in EP388, that's a Navy thing. You don't have to put that in there, but what I will point out is this sequence number. So the first photo that I take when I import it, it starts out 001. I rename all my files. So they start 001, then 002, and it goes up to however many that I took during that session. If I do multiple sessions in one day, I do not reset the sequence number for that day. The sequence number keeps going for the entire day. That's something that you want to keep in mind, so you don't get duplicate file names. If you have duplicate file names, that can cause problems down the road. So once you have your folders set up and your files named in the naming scheme that you want to use, synchronize the folders into Lightroom. Again, I've done a video on this. Check the link in the description below. Now, one of the other things that I use to keep my photos organized is I use the map feature. Up in the top right corner, there's a button for map. Now, when the map loads, all the photos that you have geotagged will pop up and show where they were taken. This can be very helpful if you want to find a location that you shoot at that you might not remember. Just tag the photo, put it into the map. That way, if you need to know at a future date where that was, you can just find the photo. It'll pop up in the map. I geotag all my photos. This is every photo that I take, from modeling all the way to sports. It's just something that I do. It helps down the road. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is face detection. If you go back into the library view, down here, there's a little box that has a face in it. If you click on that, what Lightroom will do is it will go through and it will try to draw a box around all the faces. Then you can go in and you can put a name on the face. That is very helpful when it comes to finding particular people that you have shot with. If you have a client, or in this case sports, if you have an athlete and you need to find all the photos that you've taken of a particular athlete, you can search for that athlete's name. The way that face detection works is it will put a keyword tag over here in the keywords, which brings me to my next point, which is use keyword tags. If you use keyword tags, it makes finding your images a lot easier. Up here at the top, which is the last thing that I'm going to talk about today, we have 4 options and that's text, attribute, metadata, and none. So if you go to text, a little search box pops up, and you can search for your different keywords. You can also search if you've done the face detection or if you've just entered someone's name into the keywords. You can search for a name. Again, this is very, very handy in general if you're trying to find photos of a particular subject or scene. Now the next thing is attributes. You can search by attributes. So if you star your photos and you only want to see the 1 stars, the 2 stars, 3 stars or greater, you can change the rating here so it's rating greater than or equal to, rating is less than or equal to, or rating is equal to. So you have different ways that you can choose. So over here you have the color tags. I have different color tags for different photos, if they're keepers, if I think they're going to be keepers, stuff like that. Now the last neat feature that I'm going to talk about is the metadata tag. And a lot of people apparently don't know about this, but what you can do with the metadata tag is you can fine-tune search results based on the metadata. So in this case, this is the default tab. You can search by date. So I can go through here and I can look for a particular date. I can look at camera. So if I want to see all the photos that I've taken with my D3, I can click on D3 and I can see all the photos that I've taken with the D3. If I want to see lenses, I can see all the lenses that I've used. For example, I can just pull up the photos that I've taken with a 300 f4. These are customizable. If you click here in date, you can get different ascending, descending, flat, hierarchical. But if you click over here on the actual label, you get an entire list of different criteria you can search by. So I have one set up, it's called full data, and this has the camera, the lens, the focal length, the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, GPS data, and the file type. So I shoot everything in RAW, so if it's a JPEG, I know it's a final image. So if I'm just looking for final images, I can click on JPEG and I can look at all my final images. If I'm looking for something that was shot with a 70-200 at 200 millimeters, I can choose 70-200, 200 millimeters, and all these filters down here, they will start changing depending on what you select to the left. So if I want 70-200, 200 millimeters, shot at 1/2000th of a second at 3.2. I have 4 photos that were taken with 70-200 at 200 millimeters, 1/2000th of a second, f3.2. Again, this is just kind of a neat way so you can, if you want to see what your most used lens is or your most used camera or your shutter speeds or focal lengths or anything like that. It's just a very helpful feature to know that it exists. That's pretty much all I have today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it that thumbs down. If you haven't done so already, check out some of my other videos. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notified for any videos that I'm posting in the future, don't forget to hit that bell icon. And stay tuned for the next part in this Lightroom series. This is Russell from Russell Tracy Photography. Have a good day.